There is literally nothing in my life that is more precious to me as my family and more wonderful than the times that we have together. And when that happens, it is just such a blessing. Last week we had I call it a mini family reunion, and I call it that because only 4 of my 8 children were able to actually make it home for this, but what a wonderful time that we had. It was just such a blessing to me. Well, hello everyone, and good morning, mid-morning here. It probably doesn't even look like that because we have so much overcast sky right now. We've had some really hot days, and we had more hot days in the forecast, and then all these clouds just kind of rolled in and up the humidity level, that's for sure. Whew. I'm not a huge fan of humidity, but that's what it is. So that's what we roll with today. And I feel like I'm breaking out in a sweat just sitting here and talking. In any case, I am Crystal, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you are a regular viewer. I so appreciate you. And I appreciate each and every one of you that comes in and watches my videos. Well, this is Homemakers Journal 24. So I just like to throw out these Homemakers Journals. Just a lot of this and that is what I put into it, I guess. You know, I talk about different things that are helpful, and at least hopefully helpful, and try to be an encouragement to you in your homemaking endeavors, your homemaking life, and that's kind of the goal for Homemakers Journals. When you have a big family, it just seems so challenging to get everyone together on the same weekend at the same place, especially since of my 8 children, they're spread out over 5 different states. So some of them are more Midwest towards the East Coast, some are way down south, some are California, you know, so they're just all over the place, and it's really difficult to coordinate everybody's schedule. They've got jobs and busy lives, but that's okay. Whoever makes it, that's the goal. And this year I didn't do a lot of planning ahead of time, so that was my fault. I didn't think we were going to do it because it just seemed impossible to get the schedules coordinated, and then all of a sudden it started to work out, and I figured, well, even if it could be just half the kids, we'll do that. So that didn't give, especially the ones that live farther away, that didn't give them enough time to prepare. This year, or I should say next year, my daughter and I plan to do a whole lot more preparation ahead of time, setting the date ahead of time. In fact, already we're talking about next year's and planning the date for that, so everybody can have lots of good notice ahead of time.
I'm gonna climb this tree. Not very well. Yeah, I think it's probably burnt on the bottom. I'm having a really hard time with my sourdough right now for some reason.
That looks beautiful to me.
It doesn't like that.
So throughout the video, I'll be showing you a little bit more pictures and whatnot of our time together. So, but right now, what I want to share with you is a project that I did that was super easy, very quick, and I have absolutely loved it. It is a DIY cleaning wipes, you know, like the Clorox wipes you buy, only I didn't use Clorox, I used vinegar, but those types of wipes that you can buy, but mine are reusable. So I know I've seen recipes where people used paper towels, and then they'll cut a roll of paper towels in half, and then, you know, whatever, get them wet, pull out the core of the paper towels, and then pull them up from there. That's a great idea, but I didn't want to have to be buying them again and again, and I didn't want to have to go through that hassle of cutting them in half and going through all that every time I needed to change them out. And I like the idea of things that can be reused. It just makes more sense to me. I just, you know, can wash them easily, and they're ready to go for the next time. So with this recipe, as I said, I used vinegar, and my ratio was like a cup of vinegar to a cup of water and a teaspoon or 2 of dish soap. Now, if you want to make bleach type wipes, then you would use 2 cups of water to, you know, just a couple, 2-3 teaspoons of bleach. It really would be your preference of how much bleach you would want in it, and a couple teaspoons again of, like, I use Dawn dish soap. But I want to say, and I know that I'm sure the majority of you that are watching this video already know this, but whatever you do, never ever mix vinegar and bleach together. It creates a toxic chlorine gas that is very, very bad for you. So just make sure that you do one type or the other, but don't do both. So I bought this package of reusable wipes, and I'm hoping that this works. You're supposed to be able to wash them. I don't know how long they'll last. You know, if I had to do it over again, I might have just gone ahead and bought like baby washcloths or something like that. But for now, I will get this started with these. These are actually pretty big in size. So what I have been doing here is I am cutting them in half this way, I am cutting them in half this way, and then each of these sections I am cutting them in half. So I have the size of a small wipe, which I think is perfect for wiping off the counters, wiping up something, you know, whatever. Swishing out the bathroom sink. If you want them bigger, you can have them bigger. You can really do whatever you want, but I wanted them to be a little bit smaller. This plastic container had some roasted peanuts in it, and when we were done with it, I just washed it and removed the label. And so I am going to be using this as my container. You can use anything. You can buy something at the dollar store. If you have something on hand that you can repurpose like I did, that works too. Making the cleaning mixture is pretty simple. I'm going to be using some vinegar, some Dawn dish soap, and a little bit of essential oil. I am using lemongrass because I like the smell of that. You can use any kind of citrus. You could use lavender. A lot of those have different types of cleaning properties, so just use what you like. So I'm going to start by adding 1 cup of water and 1 cup of vinegar. And 2 teaspoons of Dawn dish soap, and a couple drops of this lemongrass essential oil. Put your cloths into your container. And now I'm going to take my mixture I just made and fill my container up. Put the lid on and just kind of do this number here so that everything gets wet. And now they're ready to go. When I want to use one, I just reach in and grab it, squeeze out any excess liquid, and I am ready to wipe down my countertops or my stove. I bought these little baskets off of Amazon. They were a set of 5. I bought them to do some organizing in my kitchen, but for this one, I am going to use these. After I use this, I am just going to put them in here, and then I can put them in the laundry, probably like when I wash my cloth napkins and my cloth towels that I use as paper towel substitutes. So super easy, and now that I never really bought those wipes to begin with, but I always loved the idea. So this is a very frugal alternative to that and makes cleaning kind of nice and simple. As my daughter and I are thinking way ahead this year in planning the next family reunion, I was thinking of maybe doing something that was a little bit more maybe a few more structured. We spend a lot of time, of course, roasting marshmallows and sitting by the campfire and swimming in the pond and just gathering together and talking, which is such a wonderful blessing. I love that. And I just thought, well, maybe the next one we'll throw in something a little more structured. I'm not sure, but if you plan family reunions or have been to family reunions, do you have any ideas or tips or anything like that for me? Would you please just list those or tell me in the comments below what kind of things have you done at family reunions that you enjoyed, and I'd be interested to hear, because we're serious now about planning a bigger reunion and something a little bit more structured next year. as summer, while it still seems to be in full swing around here with the heat and all that, these are the waning days of summer, I guess. And one of the incredible, wonderful things I have on my piece of property, among other things, is wild blackberries, and they just grow prolifically. I think there's even been talk in my area of, considering them as a noxious weed, because they just grow, oh my goodness, they just grow like crazy. But we always seem to have enough to do something with them, whether it's in the years past, I made lots and lots of blackberry jam, blackberry pies, and I didn't really have any big ambitions right now to do. I've got plenty of jam, and I didn't really want to make a pie, so I decided to head out the other day and pick a few and make a really easy blackberry cobbler. Now, this is a Bisquick recipe, and if you watched my pantry mix video that I put out not long ago, I showed you how to make a shelf-stable, shortening-free pantry mix, just like Bisquick, a copycat of that. If you haven't seen that video, I will post it up here. But that is, I've called it My Quick, and I have been using it in place of any recipe that calls for Bisquick, and it's worked out just fine, so I did it for this cobbler. And I will post the link below to the recipe that I actually used, as well as the link to my pantry mix video if you haven't seen that. And I served this with some whipped cream that I had sweetened with a little bit of powdered sugar, and we really enjoyed it. It was delicious. And I should say too, in this video I made a half of a recipe, so I put it in that little pie tin. That was one that I had washed and saved from a graham cracker crust. If you only want to do half recipe like I did, you could also put it into like a bread loaf pan, maybe a smaller 8 by 4 or something like that, and maybe a regular bread pan would work as well. But anyway, if you want to do the whole recipe, it is an 8 by 8 pan. All I can say right now about this humidity is I'm impressed by you ladies that live in humid states like the Midwest and the East Coast. It's like, I don't know how you do it, because this is just really, and it's probably you get used to it, right? And I'm just not used to it. In fact, we have such a small amount of humidity that ever comes to our area that I remember my first time coming face to face with super heavy humidity. My husband and I were taking a road trip to Chicago, where his parents lived, and we were just driving straight through. We would take turns driving and just went straight through, and we had been driving all night, and in the morning we pulled into a rest stop in Iowa, and I got out of the car and I thought I was going to die. It's like, what is this? And anyway, after my week in Chicago and back home, I realized, oh my gosh, this is just normal for people. And I was glad to get back to the cooler air of the Pacific Northwest, that's for sure. Okay, friends, I think that's it for this video. It may be shorter than what I usually put out on a Homemaker's Journal. I'm not sure, because I haven't finished editing yet. editing it yet, so we will see when it's all done. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found something useful and helpful. And I so appreciate you coming by and chatting with me and spending a little bit of time with me. It means a lot. And if you did enjoy this video, could you give it a like? It really helps out my channel, and my little channel's growing. I'm getting close to 5,000 subscribers already, and I'm very excited about that. That means so much to me. And like I said, I appreciate you all so much. And if you are not subscribed, I would love to see you come back here again. So make sure that you subscribe and get that so that we can come back together again. Anyway, all right, you guys, that is all for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.